My name is Dora Wagner, and I'm the Executive Director of Floridians for Honest Lending, a nonprofit advocacy organization that is sounding the alarm on the impending foreclosure crisis in the state of Florida. What we hear as an organization on a daily basis is the system is unfair and unbalanced. Homeowners who face any kind of hiccups in their life, whether it be a financial setback, make any mistake, or miss a payment, are immediately exposed to losing their homes. Meanwhile, our financial institutions repeatedly break the law while they're trying to take our homes away. If homeowners have to follow the rules, then so should the banks. Our team spent weeks combing through public records on foreclosures in the state of Florida in 4 counties. We specifically chose Miami-Dade, Broward, Duval, and Orange counties. This box is a small representation of what we found when we dug through these documents. We found hundreds of cases of foreclosures still being filed in our Florida court system with the same robo-signing mortgage documents that led to the 2012 $25 billion national settlement with the banks and 49 state attorneys. These boards represent our findings. All of these court cases were filed in 2019 in Florida courts using the same stamps that were used to settle that 2012 national settlement. As you can see here, these are countrywide loans, and we have more behind me. This is Washington Mutual. These are samples. These loans were originated by the now bankrupt Countrywide and Washington Mutual. The loans were bought by Bank of America and JP Chase basically for pennies on the dollar, and that's why we're standing outside right now in front of a Bank of America. Bank of America and JP Chase and many, many others probably thought that this was a good deal. They made a bet, but the bet did not pay off for them. The documents that came through that transfer are bad documents. They're not signed, they're not endorsed, and they're quite frankly fraudulent and missing in some cases. So it continues to be an ongoing mess in the Florida court system. There was an opportunity, though, for the banks to fix it legally, and they chose not to fix it legally. Instead, Bank of America, JP Chase, and many others hired companies to forge those documents and today still present them in court. These rubber stamp signatures that we showed here are on hundreds and hundreds of documents that we found. And literally, they're blank pages with stamps on them that were filed last year in the court system. So when the banks got caught, they were fined and they promised to stop the behavior, but obviously we've proven today that that's not the case. We have documented 518 foreclosures in 2019 in just those 4 counties. I'm going to remind everybody that there's 67 counties in the state of Florida, so you can extrapolate out what that might be. With the impending end to the moratorium, we anticipate that those numbers will rise drastically starting at the end of this year. Our current lending system structure is made up of mortgage originators who package those loans and sell those mortgages to trusts who are owned by investors. Then those trusts contract with mortgage servicers to manage our mortgages. The mortgage servicers have very limited legal authority to help homeowners who are struggling and are actually incentivized to foreclose on homeowners. Our judicial system is currently overrun, and we anticipate with the pending moratorium, the end of the moratorium, that our judges are going to be far overwhelmed by the number of cases that are filed in our court systems. What does this mean? It means that homeowners don't stand a chance. That's what it means, and we're going to end up with a rocket docket again. These forged documents do not belong in our judicial system at all. So our elected officials, especially our state legislators, must confront this challenge now before our next crisis begins. They need to protect the honest homeowners who are in front of us today from the predatory schemes and using fraudulent documents in our court systems. You're about to meet 3 homeowners who are with us today who have been fighting for their homes for years, and one of them is over a decade, actually. Most of other homeowners that we meet in Interactive just want to pay their mortgage. That's what they want to do, but they have become victims of the system. So right now, I'm going to bring in front of you Mrs. Williams-James. Mrs. James, come on up. I'm going to mic you up here.
That's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll leave my phone with you there. There you go.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Maria K. Williams-James, and I have spent more than 10 years trying to save my home from a fraudulent foreclosure. I have paid over $30,000 on a $51,700 loan. My husband and I took out this loan in 2004. He's now deceased. In 2014, the judge dismissed this fraudulent foreclosure filed by Bank of America, and I thought my nightmare was over. To my great surprise, it was not. The next server, whom I disagreed with because the accountability for my money, put me back in the foreclosure, and Bank of America took no accountability for their lousy paperwork that should have been filed to keep me from this fraudulent foreclosure. I worked all of my life, 36 years in Miami-Dade County schools, teaching children. And these corporations have taken away my safety because of threatening things that some of them have done to me. My medical has gone up. My credit is doomed. And I think that we need a broad investigation on these corporations who are doing these fraudulent foreclosures. And I thank you all very kindly for listening to my complaint. Thank you very much. Oh.
And watch the stuff.
I will.
Okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and next, our next homeowner. Okay, I'm going to mic you up here so we get good audio. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you guys might, she's soft.
Okay, my name is Ana Rodriguez. When Bank of America acquired Countrywide, Bank of America inherited all the frauds that Countrywide have done. Then the government realized that Bank of America was in trouble and gave $25 million of our taxpayer money to Bank of America to arrange the problem. But Bank of America decided not only to keep the money, but to continue committing more frauds than Countrywide. So we are trapped here. We, the citizens, are trapped because the Justice Department don't want to pay attention to our claims. When I was in Cuba, I was in a political prison for 19 years fighting for freedom. I came to this country as a political merchandise during the Carter administration. But when I was studying to be a citizen of this country, nobody explained me that I have to be an expert in mortgage before I sign anything. Nobody explained me that I have to distrust the insurance company. Nobody explained me why the powerful ones are hurt and my voice is keep silent. I came to a country that usually have a loss equal for everybody, but I'm living now a nightmare because the Justice Department don't want to pay attention to us. Right now, I'm taking care of a friend of mine that has spent 18 years in a political prison too, and she has Alzheimer's. That is what I'm doing now, trying to keep healthy and taking care. I appreciate that all of you pay attention to our case and make America a place of justice for all of us again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great job. Okay, I'm going to take you off here. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, watch your step over here. You want to go over that way? That's fine. She come over here. Or you want to go stand next to Bruce? Okay, and up next we have Dora Cervan.
Thank you.
All right, go for it.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Floridians Honest Lending Organization, for giving me the opportunity to share my story. My name is Dora Cervan. I am from Peru. My husband, decided to invest in real estate for our retirement in America. We bought a condo from Miami-Dade County Options and paid $72,000. We contact Wells Fargo Bank to let them know that we were the new owners. It took us 2 years to really get something from them. Between our lawyers and their lawyers, we finally reinstated the condo. We paid $182,000 plus additional 8 months. Wells Fargo keep our money, despite they say they will reinstate the loan. They never did. They started foreclosure on us. 4 years have been passed. They ignored our lawyer. They don't listen to them. They don't care. Wells Fargo received $200,000 from us, and they steal our money. We have spent $400,000 approximately on the apartment, including the payment to Miami County Dade, HOAs, lawyers, a special assessment, tickets back and forth to my country. We feel scammed. We never imagined this country, United States, will do that to us. Not even in my country. Peru are not allowed the banks to store money from the home buyers. Thank you to listen to our story.
Great job. Okay, and up next we have attorney Bruce Jacobs.
So good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming out, supporting our cause. So I'm a foreclosure defense lawyer here in Miami. I'm practicing law 25 years, and I started as a prosecutor 25 years ago. And what we're seeing today is criminal behavior by banks. What we're seeing today is the same banks who were promised to stop committing fraud in foreclosures 10 years ago are still doing it. And they're still filing these cases. They are still trying to take people's homes, and we're doing everything we can to try to stop it. Now, I represent all of these women that you've heard from today, and to me, it's a very unique opportunity as a lawyer to really fight for somebody's constitutional rights. But Miss Rodriguez, spent 19 years in a prison. They called her a plantadas, a planted one, because they couldn't break her. They couldn't make her stop. And she's now here fighting for a foreclosure that is fraudulent. And it's the same fraud from 10 years ago, and it's the new fraud we're seeing today. And this fraud needs to be stopped, and it will be stopped when the Justice Department pays attention to what's happening here, and we are able to have our opportunity to show our proof of fraud. In Ms. Rodriguez's case, the judge said we had to post a bond. He gave us about 9 hours to post a $100,000 bond in order to have her eviction stopped long enough to present the evidence of fraud. And we're asking anyone who's willing to help, whether you believe in someone who put herself through so much heartache and suffering for the Cuban people who were fighting for democracy, or if you just believe in democracy in this country, please come to our website, jakelegal.com, JAKELEGAL.com. There's a link there. You can donate money to help raise the money we need to post the bond. We have Miss Williams James. Her husband fought in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam as a fighter pilot. Then he spent the rest of his career teaching before he died. And to think that she would be put in a foreclosure by Bank of America, that they would say under oath that she did not pay her mortgage and get a judgment against her, only to have that judgment vacated due to fraud because they admitted finally that she paid her mortgage. She kept her receipts. And now, a decade later, we just had another trial and we won again, showing that they were filing the same exact foreclosure, using the same exact false evidence, and trying to take her home. And even though we won, Bank of America still asked for 30 days to try to come up with some legal reason. I'm sorry, it's the new owners, not Bank of America. The new owners are still coming up with a reason to try to say they should get a judgment of foreclosure. And it's simply wrong. And Ms. Cervan paid $180,000 to Wells Fargo to reinstate her mortgage. She made 8 months of monthly payments to help reinstate her mortgage. And I am still defending her. Years later, we were never able to get the bank to talk to us. They kept promising they'd work something out, they'd talk to us, and they never did. And ultimately, we're here today saying, and there's fraud in her foreclosure. So here's the way this breaks down for me. Okay, as a lawyer, I swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. And this really isn't a close one. The Fifth Amendment of the Constitution says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. A fraudulent foreclosure is not due process. Forged endorsements, perjury, felonies, obstruction of justice, destroying evidence, that is not due process. And what we're asking is for people to pay attention, because there really hasn't been help for most of us. We've heard about this moratorium for foreclosure evictions. That was great if you had good credit when you got your mortgage, if you qualified for a federally backed mortgage. Most people didn't. Matter of fact, you have millions of people across the country who got subprime loans, like everyone you see here. And every one of these subprime loans targeted communities of color, the elderly, people who didn't know what they were getting themselves into, who probably shouldn't have gotten the mortgage to begin with. But it was used to make securitized trusts and make Wall Street billions of dollars. So now there is no moratorium at all for the people with subprime loans, and soon the moratorium is going to end for everybody. And it is our hope and our desire that people start paying attention and that we can stop fraudulent foreclosures from taking people out of their homes even after the pandemic. Because the people who are coming into foreclosure now are going to be in foreclosure because of things that were out of their control. There's no more blaming the homeowners for it. And we would just ask that everyone, take a moment, go to the website, make a donation, make sure that you tell your elected representatives that this matters. It matters to you. It matters to the Constitution. It matters to the rights of homeowners all across the country. And we're very thankful for your support. Thank you.
Up next, we have David Winker.
Good morning, everybody. We're here asking for help. I'm in court every day, and we have good judges. And in a majority of my cases, my clients walk away, win or lose, and feel like their voices have been heard. The anomaly is in foreclosure cases. You've heard 3 clients of Mr. Jacobs talk about how they feel in court. They don't feel like their voice is being heard. They feel like they're being railroaded, and they feel like justice is not being done. We need help. We need to empower our judges to do their job. I feel an analogy that I often use is, you can look at me and see I'm overweight. I'm 75, 100 pounds overweight. If I don't take my blood pressure pills, if I don't go to the doctor, if I don't take care of myself, I'm going to end up in the hospital in full cardiac arrest at the emergency room. That is the least efficient way for me to get my health care. The least efficient way for these individuals to get the help they need and to get justice and uphold the rule of law is not in these courtrooms with the situation that we're in. We need legislative help to prevent what's happening. Every day in court, we see these. We're in court arguing, showing. We can show a complaint was filed 2015. It did not have David Spector's endorsement on it. 2019, notes filed again. Guess what? It has David Spector endorsing a note. When David Spector left in 2006, Countrywide ceased to exist in 2008. That is demonstrable fraud. And I often say, if I walked into court, I'm in court every day. I have a solid reputation. If I walked in with these documents, I would be sanctioned. And this is why we need the help of our legislature. I feel we need to empower homeowners. It's ridiculous to me that homeowners have to go into default to get help. Then you get dual tracking. Then you get banks in a desperate effort sending out documents to servicers to solve their problem because they don't own the note. They don't hold the note. They've lost the note, and it's a desperate effort to do this, and they're doing things that are unacceptable. So we're asking for help pre-foreclosure, and we're about to face an unprecedented flood of foreclosures, and we have to address this issue. And I think Mr. Jacobs did a great job of saying those who had an FHA loan, they're still under forbearance if they want it. But those who did not have good enough credit, those in low-income neighborhoods, those in minority neighborhoods, have none of those protections, and they're getting railroaded. The middle class is the core of our country, and home ownership is one of the central pillars of that. We need to protect it. Every client I have that's in foreclosure wants one thing: pay their loan. You heard someone yell during the press conference crossing the street, Bank of America is a predatory lender. That's just someone who saw this. Bank of America is a predatory lender. We got to stop that. That perception should hurt Bank of America. Let's work together and solve this problem. It's a solvable problem. We need solutions and we need help. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so as you've heard today, fraudulent actions by financial institutions have real-world consequences. This is just a sampling of the people that we're working with. If you feel like you would like to share your story with us and be part of the solution, please search for us on Facebook. As you can see, we're Floridians for Honest Lending, or you can go to our website, www.honestlendingfl.org. There's 3 asks that we have. We ask that the judges take a closer look at these fraudulent documents. We invite our state legislators to work with us on empowering these homeowners by enacting new laws, and we also need bank regulators to investigate the banks for the continued fraud. Thank you. And now we'll have 2 Spanish options for our 2 storytellers in Spanish. Eleazar, do you want to come? You want to use this?
Yes, of course. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Eleazar Meléndez, soy el portavoz de Floridians for Honest Lending, una organización que se ha formado para enfrentarnos al problema que tenemos ahora, que van en una ola de desahucios y una ola de desacatamientos en corte por las personas que no han podido pagar su hipoteca en el pasado año y que se enfrentan a una situación que no se ha resuelto en los últimos 10 años, que es el fraude por las instituciones financieras, el fraude por los bancos, que tratan de quitarle a las personas su casa, su hogar, sin tener los documentos apropiados y sin seguir los procesos apropiados. Floridians for Honest Lending ha estado investigando esta situación en antelación a la situación que viene ahora, y lo que hemos encontrado es que en el año 2019 solamente 518 casos se ejecutaron en el condado de Miami-Dade, que encontramos que tienen los mismos problemas de procesos ilegales que ocurrieron en el 2008-2009 y que todavía no se han resuelto. Como todos saben, estas son unas situaciones que los bancos y las instituciones financieras prometieron durante la última crisis que no iban a hacer. La situación del robo-signing, cuando básicamente firman los documentos de una manera inválida, de una manera fraudulenta. La situación de documentos falsos y creados simplemente para quitarle la vivienda a las personas. La situación de que se crea una falta de documentación en los diferentes casos. Todo esto son situaciones que ustedes ven aquí en estos folletos, aquí a mi derecha y a mi izquierda. Hemos documentado más de 518 casos ahora mismo, no viejos, sino desde el 2019. Y aquí tenemos la representación humana de esos casos, la representación humana de las personas que han sufrido ese fraude y que les quita o su propiedad o, más allá de eso, su hogar, el sitio que ellos han creado como su vivienda para el futuro y para el futuro de sus familias. Nuestra organización tiene 3 prioridades que está exigiendo ahora mismo. Número 1, estamos exigiendo que los jueces traten en serio esta situación cuando va al frente en las cortes. Ahora mismo vemos que muchas veces los jueces y el sistema judicial está diseñado simplemente para sacar adelante los casos y no necesariamente para darle justicia a las personas cuando presentan estas situaciones. Lo vimos hace una década con la creación de los famosos Rocket Docket, que básicamente era para sacar los casos sin darle justicia a las personas, y queremos evitar eso, queremos que los jueces tengan conciencia de eso. Número 2, nos vamos a estar acercando a nuestros legisladores estatales para crear nuevas leyes que protejan a las personas para que no pierdan sus hogares de esta manera fraudulenta. Y número 3, estamos pidiendo a los oficiales electos locales y a las diferentes personas que tienen acceso que salgan a la comunidad, entiendan que esto es un problema y vengan a nosotros y nos presenten esta situación para tener más fuerza, tener más casos, tener más voces, tener más historias. Pueden ir a la página de Facebook de nosotros, que es Floridians for Honest Lending, o la página de internet, que es www.honestlendingfl.org, honestlendingfl.org. Con eso les voy a presentar de nuevo, para los que están aquí de prensa de habla hispana, los casos que tenemos que pueden hablar en castellano.
Aquí. Hola, buenas tardes. Agradecer a Floridian Honest Lending Organization para la oportunidad que nos da de exponer nuestro caso.
Vamos a hacerlo aquí en la sombra, porque es nada más una pregunta. No hay que hacerlo ahí en el puerto.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Y, ¿Y dónde lo hago?
Aquí. Puedes quitarte el micrófono, no te preocupes.
Allá.
Yo tengo esto.
Allá.